Hello everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have another layout to share for Simple Stories using the Simple Vintage Essentials collection. I've really enjoyed playing around with this collection and becoming a bit out of my comfort zone. I wasn't initially drawn to this collection because the colours are not bright, and I tend to go towards bright colours. I have children, so therefore I'm constantly taking photos of children and they're always looking pretty bright. So the black and white and the sepia tones don't really suit the photos that I take. So it was a little bit of a challenge. I wouldn't naturally go towards it, but it was fun to try something outside of my comfort zone. And actually I love the layouts I've created with this collection. And also they came together really, really easily. They weren't challenging products to work with, even though the colour scheme didn't quite suit my my usual taste. I say it is good to move outside your comfort zone sometimes because then you can prove to yourself that you can do other things. So it was nice to do. So I have started off with a black background. I like a black background. It's a bit of drama to start with. I have a colour photo this time. Sometimes with a collection like this I would be inclined to use black and white, and I did that on my first layout I made with this collection. But for this one I thought I would challenge myself and use a colour photo, and actually I think it works really quite well. I've gone for, say, a black background. I've cut out a few circles and just out of a couple of different pattern papers. I wanted to lift the photo a little bit rather than it all be black. So I've got some white ones with black dots, and I've got some black ones with white dots, and I have a little strip as well. And that all kind of acts as the place where I can add my photo, kind of houses my photo. It's a shelf effectively and gives me somewhere to put my photo and build on. So that's worked really well. I've got 3 photos the same, but I have layered them on top of each other, so you have just a different look. I wasn't going to, I basically ended up printing these photos on a completely different day. I wasn't planning on using them for this layout particularly, but I'd already got them printed, and I don't know why I ended up with 4. I think I had the setting on my printer wrong. I only wanted 1, so I've used 1, but I had 4 to 6x4 sheet. So I had the other 3 which were spare and I didn't need. I thought I would give it a go. So I've just layered them on top of each other, rather than throw them away. It does give a different look to the layout to have that layered photo effect. So that's the photo. I've got the circles, I've got the piece of paper behind, and what I haven't talked about yet is the fact that I have added a whole load of words from the foam stickers. Now, who is a fan of foam stickers? I love them. I love the phrases. They're always, Simple Stories designers are amazing. They always come up with brilliant phrases that are great for titles, not over the top, not too twee. I think they're really usable everyday titles or words. And in this case, I've picked out fabulous. I've got sweet just above it, above that do your thing, and at the top love, and then going down we've got underneath fabulous I've got a little yes. I've got the good life, a smile, beautiful, little moments, and yay. All of them are totally generic and would work on any kind of layout really, and they're super duper easy to use. So, and I loved them all. I thought they were brilliant. And on one side of the foam stickers you have kind of white wording with a black shadow, and on the other side you have the other way around. So what's that? Black wording with a white, that's right, black wording with a white shadow around it, or outline. So it gives a different look, and it has all different fonts as well. So we have some curly, kind of joined up cursive writing fonts, and you have some almost typewritten fonts, and you have some regular straight fonts. That has a word and I can't remember what that is. That has a name. Anyway, serif or sans serif, that's to do with the little bits at the top, I think. Anyway, I've lost my words tonight, clearly. So other than putting all my words in, which is really the main feature of this layout, I've added a few other bits of ephemera. So I've pulled out some flowers, I've pulled out a butterfly, I've added some hearts, and I've added some foam hearts as well. Now I'm pretty much finished the layout, and I'm thinking, what else can I do, because it doesn't really feel finished. One day I would really like to master the ability to be able to stop while I'm ahead, quit while you're ahead, because really the layout is fine as it is. I don't need to do any extra details, but I've never been able to, I've always kind of been a more is more girl rather than a less is more girl. So I'll get to this point and really I should stop, but I just can't help myself. And I decided that I wanted to do something with the edges of the paper or put a border on it, but I didn't want to cut it down and do a proper border. So I've just trimmed I haven't trimmed my my background actually. I've just distressed the edges and folded them up a little bit, or quite a bit. And then I've picked out another background paper, so a paper that will go behind the main one. And now what I'm doing is I'm making some cuts in the lined black background paper in a few points. So basically I just felt that the layout wasn't distressed enough, so I'm just adding some. So I've got my paper, I've got my cutting mat underneath the layout. I'm not cutting directly onto my paper, don't worry. And I'm just using a craft knife to cut a few lines here and there. It's just adding a little bit of interest to the background. Quite often on a light background I would have paint splatters, and I am going to do that on here anyway, but I felt that and I would normally have a border. That's the thing that I was missing. So I felt that it was a bit too much open space or white space. I know it's black, but it's still called white space. And I just felt that it was a bit too much of it, and I wasn't overly happy with it. So I just felt I needed something else. So by putting in these little distressed parts, a few cuts here and there, folding those up a little bit, it just added a little bit of extra interest to the background. And it also means that I can really fold up the edges of my layout as well to reveal the white distressed paper beneath it. It's one of the papers from the Simple Vintage Essentials collection. It's not cardstock or anything. It is one of those papers. The tone is perfect. It's kind of like a slightly off-white distressed newspaper print. It's brilliant. It's perfect to go underneath here and to shine through in various places. So you can see that now my white bits are shining through the black cuts there. It just adds a bit more vintage and distressed feel to that background that I felt just was lacking something. So now I'm finishing off with my standard paint splatters. So I'm using white paints to add splatters all over all of the embellishments and all of the design. I'm trying to avoid my photo, which I pretty much do, and I'm going to call it done. So there we go. That is the layout finished. I hope you enjoyed seeing how it came together and enjoyed seeing the Simple Vintage Essentials collection. Lots of great things, and they would be really good to use with other collections as well. Thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories using the Simple Vintage Essentials collection.